kind of up here. I don't really have a green thumb per se, but you can kind of make it easier.
That's right, Tina. Right now, everybody's excited about the weather warming up, and I want to get outside and do something. But there are some things that we need to plan first. You don't always necessarily have to have a green thumb. Some proper planning will get you well on your way to have a great garden.
Okay.
Okay, so the very first thing, though, we need to do is we need to think about what we want. What do we eat? How much time do we have to actually work in the garden? Chris was talking earlier that, you know, you might not have time, but you're still able to raise maybe some of those favorite vegetables that you have in your garden. But first, we need to pick our spot, and we make sure that it's well drained. It gets about 8 hours of sun a day. So if it's by a tree or shady, that's probably not the best choice for our garden. Now, if you're like me and you get your seed catalogs in, you get really excited, I want it all. Okay? I'm already a victim of that. Those are all my seeds up there that I've already ordered. But you need to really think about your garden space. And we have a graphic to kind of show you, you know, you really need some of your melons and things like that. They need a whole lot more space. Corn, you need several small rows of corn. And so you really need to space that out in your garden to kind of see if you have enough room, how big of an area do you need to prepare.
So on the graphic, what is this kind of resembling for us?
You know, this shows that the watermelons, you're only going to be able to plant one of those melon seeds or hills in that area. Obviously, you can plant more corn and some of your herbs there. In your upper right-hand corner, you can plant more carrots in a square foot or in an area. And so you just really need to plan on what you want to plant and then make a map of that at home. You can do that right now when, you know, the weather is cooling off the rest of the week. Plan out your garden before you order your seeds, because if you're like me, you'll order a whole lot of seeds and not have enough garden space for that. So making a plan is super important. Okay, now once we have our location picked out, we really need to test that soil. Soil is super important to the growth and the well-being of our garden throughout the year. And so I've brought some examples here. This kind of diagram shows you, like, Tina, if you had that garden space, where you would need to take your soil samples. And what we'd like to do, this is, you can use a shovel if you don't have a soil probe, but see, I've already taken some soil, a core here, and so I would take the middle out of this and put it in my bucket and take it from all those different spots so that I can get a really good representative sample of my soil. You'll bring that to the office, and for $7, we'll send that off, and then you'll get a report back saying exactly what you need on your garden as far as fertility. And that'll save you money. A lot of people just go out there and they'll spread some triple 10 or triple 19, and it might not be as much as they need, or it might not be enough. And then we've wasted all this money on all this, and we're not going to get the most out of our garden. So this is a really important part of gardening. We want to make sure we get our soil tested and get that right before we get our seeds ordered. And then it's time to order the seeds. Okay, so the $7 will, in the long run, save you money. That's exactly right. Yeah, it will definitely save you money throughout the season. Go ahead and get our seeds. If you're into heirloom varieties, or maybe some of the newer varieties that are out, you need to go ahead and order them, because a lot of times they go fast. Okay, there's a lot of different places. You don't have to order your seeds. A lot of our stores here in town carry seeds and transplants for you to be able to purchase, so you can get them.
And when you're saying order, where are people ordering these?
Oh, there are numerous seed catalogs that if you just get online and if you just search for seed catalogs, you're going to come up with numerous ones. And some are more specific, you know, to heirloom varieties. Some, if you're really into herbs, there's some seed catalogs that are better for that as well. So you can kind of get on there and search. If you need recommendations, you can call us. But every gardener, I would recommend to come by and get this publication at the Extension office. It has a whole wealth of information about planting dates, times, soil samples. All the information is in here, and this is absolutely free.
Oh, and that's free. Okay, so now we're talking about, we want to test the soil, we want to make sure we have enough room, enough light, we want to make sure we're preparing, and then at some point we're going to really get ready to do the planning.
That's right.
After the break, let's actually get into that part. Now that we've all done all the planning, then let's go ahead and get ready to do that, and we'll have all the details on that. Johanna, I didn't know you were such a wealth of knowledge about gardening. We'll be right back with all of that. Looking at seeds, and I go, oh, these are tiny seeds, and you go, no, these are actually big seeds, right?
Well, from what we're normally planting this time of year, like the spinach and lettuces, those are tiny seeds. And so we're going to deal with something a little bit bigger today. But once we get our plans, and Tina, we know what we're going to do, it is actually time where we can actually get into some dirt right now, into some soil, and actually start some seeds indoors.
Indoors.
Okay, so we can kind of get ready and get ahead of the game, so that when temperature does decide to warm up in Kentucky, we'll be ready. to get out into the garden. But there are several different containers that you can choose from when you're starting your seeds indoors. We have the multi-cells, the mini cells up here. We have the larger containers like these. And then we have some of these that are biodegradable. They actually come in their own individual pot or in blocks or cells like these. And so these are really great if you get the ones that are individual, because you can put those directly into the ground. And you don't have any root disturbance or anything like that. So you can just stick that right in your garden. Now these, you will have to kind of get those out and transplant those into your garden, but we just want to make sure that they're clean and they're sterile. If you had some from last year, a lot of these we can reuse, but we want to make sure that we clean them with a bleach solution so that we don't carry anything over from last season. And so we can definitely do that. These are compressed peat pellets. I think they're really neat. This whole setup here is kind of for the gardener who really enjoys gardening but maybe doesn't have time to go talk and sing. Now, Tina, if I sang to these plants, it would not be a good situation.
She's backing out of the singing. She's backing out now.
But these are great. This has a self-watering pad. Usually people want to water from overhead, and that can help us promote diseases. So we really want to water from underneath. And this has a self-watering pad. So basically you just put your water in there and the plant wicks it up from the bottom. And so we don't have any of those disease problems that we might have. But this, we put it in a little water and it turns into this.
That is this.
Yes.
Interesting.
And so basically it forms its own little container, and we can just drop our seed right in the middle there, press it down. This one goes about 3/4 of an inch. Cover it with soil, and we're ready to go. We're ready to put that back in its cell, and then it will uptake water, and it'll be ready. It'll germinate in about 5 days.
Okay, so when we start doing the ones inside, where in the house are we keeping it to make sure?
Well, you know, normally you would think a windowsill, but a lot of times we don't get enough sunlight. We need about 12 hours of sunlight for these plants to really be healthy and grow. And a lot of times in our windowsill, we don't get that much light. So we probably need to add some artificial light, usually about 4 to 5 inches above the plant. And as it grows, you'll need to be able to move that up. But you can get a regular white light, or they actually have some plant lights that you can get as well. Just a light bulb over however many plants that you have to get it some adequate sunlight. And so you can put it in the window, but it's going to take a little bit longer. And the other trick is to have some heat on the bottom, because your plants are not going to germinate outside until the soil gets warmer. And so we want to kind of replicate that indoors as well. Don't usually want to set it on top of a vent, but nearby is great. But just water the top.
And now, while we're putting this in, Joanna, tell me about the 2 things you guys have coming up.
We have 2 series. Megan Bailey at our office has been working on rain barrels. Water has been definitely a challenge in the summer, and that is March the 9th. They need to get signed up by March 1st. It is only $10, though. Usually a rain barrel will cost you anywhere from $50 to $70. $10. Warren County residents only. Call our office, 842-1681, to get registered. The other is grow your own food. If you want more help with that, Megan has a class coming up March 25th at 6 o'clock at the Extension office.
Okay, so you guys have 2 great things coming up, and again, that's the Grow Your Own Food information. Give them a call if you want any more. Do you know how much this one is?
It's free.
That one's free. Okay, Grow Your Own Food free. $10 for the rain barrel, like you said. That's usually cost, you know, triple
a lot
that.
more. Yes.
Yeah, to get something like that. So both of those, if you have any more information, call them over to the Warren County Extension. Even if you have any questions.
That's right. Any questions, give us a call.
You guys are like a Google of everything.
That's right. When it comes to gardening, farming, or home,
or food. I call them when I'm like, thank you, Joanna, so much for coming.
Thank you, Tina.
All right, guys, we'll be